Alright, hello everyone and welcome to NFL Discussion. I'm your host and NFL enthusiast Dougie Doug. In today's episode I'm going to be discussing Monday Night Football, Week 7 of the 2022 NFL season. So to be honest, I had no idea what to expect with this game. I mean, the Bears are coming off a tough loss to the Commanders, didn't really play a good game of football in that game, and then you had the Patriots who were coming off a couple of good games with Bailey Zappi, their backup under center. Mac Jones was injured of a high ankle sprain, but now all of a sudden he's coming back into this game and he's playing. Yeah, I had no idea what to expect, but I certainly wasn't expecting the Bears to completely blow out the Patriots in a 33-14 fashion. But yeah, I guess that's the fun thing about football. It is completely unpredictable. And with that, we're going to get right into the action, starting with the Bears. Justin Fields completed 13 of 21 passes for 179 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, adding 14 carries for 82 yards and an additional touchdown. So in the game, the Bears entered as 8.5-point underdogs. Fields was the best player on the field and led Chicago to an early 10-0 lead with a 3-yard rushing score. His 82 yards on the ground ended up leading the team on a night the Bears ran all over New England's defense for a combined 45-43-2. Fields averaged 8.5 yards per attempt of his arm and had multiple throws of 20-plus yards. His touchdown was a 25-yard flip to Khalil Herbert where the running back caught the ball near the line of scrimmage and shot upfield untouched into the end zone. Now Fields is never going to be a volume passer in this offense, but he's now posted over 80 yards rushing in back-to-back games. However, next week he will meet a tough Dallas defense on the road. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. But overall for the Bears, it seems like Justin Fields might be scratching the surface of his potential. Last week, the Bears were trying to force Fields into a style of play that doesn't fit his skill set, that being a pocket passer. This week, they let him do what he does best, and the results proved it was the right call. Most importantly, this felt like a potential breakthrough for Fields and the Chicago offense. The Bears tossed their old scheme aside and did what they should have been doing in the first place, which was adapting to their quarterback and his strengths, who is still taking way too many crushing hits. He did get sandwiched on that play where he threw a touchdown pass to Khalil Herbert. I mean, he had 2 defenders coming at him, and then sidearms that thing in a way that most quarterbacks not named Patrick Mahomes can do. And yeah, took a crushing hit, but he continues to stand tall, pick himself up off the turf each time, and also deliver passes with rushers bearing down on him. And in this game, changing their scheme, it paid off and gave a glimpse of what Chicago's future could look like with Fields under center, provided they keep letting them play his brand of football. And I think what also helped too is Luke gets having some extra time coming off a Thursday game, going into a Monday night game. He got some extra time to kind of work on the offensive game plan, and it seemed like his plan was to combine Fields' ability to extend the play of his legs and find open targets with a rushing attack led by David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert, and that was a wise decision for Getsy, as it produced an effective Bears offense not yet seen this season. It was only one game, yes, but it felt like this could be a turning point for this new Bears team, its new coaching staff, and its young cast of playmakers. For one night in prime time, everything came together, and if the Bears, and if this is a blueprint for the Bears and how to build Fields from a struggling youngster into a franchise quarterback, hopefully they're able to capitalize and build on it. And I think if they do just that, Fields is your franchise guy. His confidence will go up. You build the offense around him. His offensive line gets better, and he's able to stand in the pocket and deliver throws to playmakers, and he doesn't have to do everything with his legs. It's it's not going to happen this season, but what they were able to do in this game is clearly indicative of what they can do. Also, while I have been talking a lot about the offense, I will end my Bears talking point on the Bears defense, as they made a statement in this game with 4 turnovers. So nice little team win for the Bears. And and now we move on to the Patriots. Mac Jones started the game but was benched in the second quarter after completing 3 of 6 passes for 13 yards and 1 interception. So he made his return from a high ankle sprain suffered in week 3, and his legs looked good as he rushed for 24 yards on 3 attempts, but his decision making did not look good. His final throw was a bad floater into coverage that was easily picked off by Jaquan Brisker. At the time of his exit, Jones was not moving the offense, and New England was in a 10-0 hole. Bailey Zappi would come in for the first drive of the second quarter and immediately lead not 1 but 2 touchdown drives after going 2-0 as a starter filling in for Jones. It looked like Zappi would get a longer look under center for the Patriots after his hot start, but after how the rest of the game went, expect Mac Jones back under center. So, and as for Bailey Zappi, well, he completed 14 of 22 passes for 185 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. So Mac Jones returned from his high ankle sprain to start this game, but was benched at the start of the second quarter. Zappi would come in down 10-0, lead 2 touchdown drives, and put the Patriots up 14-10. It went downhill from there, though, as the Patriots' remaining possessions ended in fumble, punt, interception, and kneel down. Zappi gave the Patriots life to close out the first half, but the shine quickly wore off. He had a number of passes batted down at the line of scrimmage, and it wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots go back to Mac Jones for Week 8 against the Jets. So Zappi Mania had some hype the past couple of weeks, people talking about a quarterback controversy, but like Minshew Mania before it ran on his team. Then again, Zappi Mania was not going to last long anyway, so glad to see that, or not glad to see, but I kind of expected that he would get exposed in short order, and he did. I think the biggest takeaway for the Patriots in this game is that they have a quarterback problem. You got Mac Jones coming off an ankle sprain who struggled, then got benched, and then you had Bailey Zappi coming in, and it looked like, things are going to be okay. And they weren't okay. And now you're going to go up against the Jets, who play better defense than the Bears. Yeah, that's an issue right there. As I said, I expect Mac Jones to be under center, but ultimately, I don't think Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi are going to play well against that Jets defense, especially with Sauce Gardner at quarterback. Yeah, I just don't see a resolution coming anytime soon. But again, I guess Mac Jones under center. I guess we'll see what Bill Belichick wants to do with that. And with that, will wrap up this discussion on Monday Night Football. And now it is time for my favorite segment of the week, that being NFL discussion, throwing in the towel. So every week on this channel, basically every Tuesday after a week of NFL football, I look at every team that lost this week, and I throw in the towel on their season. Basically, I pick one team and throw in the towel on their season, label that team as a pretender, not a contender. And just to do a quick recap, week 1 it was the Jets, week 2 it was the Texans, week 3 the Seahawks, week 4 the Panthers, week 5 the Steelers, week 6 the Bears, and now we have week 7 edition. So, looking at all these teams, basically every division had one representative for their team, except for the NFC East. The NFC East, the Eagles were on a bye, and the other 3 teams, being the Giants, Cowboys, and Commanders, they all got wins. So the NFC East might just be the best division in football. They had no representatives, but for each division, basically in the AFC East it was the Patriots, in the AFC North it was the Browns, AFC South the Colts, and in the AFC West it was the Broncos. And out of those 4 teams, I went with the Broncos to represent the AFC. And then in the NFC, in the North, it was the Lions. In the South, it was the Saints. And then in the West, it was the 49ers. And out of those 3 teams, the Lions were picked to represent the NFC. So in the battle of AFC versus NFC, Broncos versus Lions, who do I throw in the towel this week on? Well, it might seem kind of obvious, maybe. I mean, both teams are really that good, but it might seem more obvious between the two. And that team, week 17 for throwing in the towel, is the Detroit Lions. So early in the season, the Lions, well, they weren't really winning, but they were moving the football and scoring points. They had one of the best offenses in the league. Now, Detroit isn't even doing that. It's becoming more difficult by the week to see exactly what Campbell has to be confident in. Your offense was the best in the league, and it's not now, and was putting up points, and now they're not even doing that. And your defense, well, it's never been good this season. They had a kind of good performance to start the game. Then the game kind of got away from them against that game against the Cowboys. They started off playing good, but then it kind of got away from them. Overall, though, on defense, they're just bad, allowing the most yards and points per game in the league. Now the offense, which was a bright spot, isn't having any more success moving the ball, and the defense is preventing teams from doing so. So from all indications, it seems that Campbell is well liked by the players in Detroit, and he might even be a media favorite given his colorful personality and vocabulary. But when you look at what the Lions have done as a football team under his leadership as head coach, they haven't really improved over the course of 2 seasons. This is his second year, and like I said, they have not improved. In fact, it seems like this team has actually regressed since the start of the season. Unless he's able to engineer a turnaround over the second half of the season, his second year as coach in Detroit might be his last. I would like to see a team be patient with the head coach for sure, but ultimately, you gotta deliver results, or at least make it look like you can deliver results. I understood giving them a pass for year 1, that roster was not very good, but year 2, this roster seemed better, but ultimately, it just has not translated to results on the field, and I would understand if the Lions moved on from him after 2 years and no results, but I would also understand a third year and just kind of see maybe what would happen. I mean, ultimately, if you're Detroit, you just want some sort of stability in the under the coaching position. You had Matt Patricia for 3 years, and then you moved on from him. So again, if you can give Patricia 3 seasons, I think I could understand giving Campbell 3. But I could, again, also understand if he's just 2 and done. But I guess we'll see what happens with the Lions, but I don't think that turnaround is coming. I think the Lions are pretenders, not contenders. And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode of NFL Discussion. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit that like button down below.